Okay, hopefully it's working. But let's do a sort of fragrance review. COVID has really fucked up doing fragrance reviews, but it's been about a year and a half, and I can smell more and more as time has gone on. So let's do some random fragrance reviews, and hopefully the microphone doesn't cut out, and no webcam because my webcam doesn't work on this new computer, so I need a new one. Anyway, let's do follow versus followed, and let me give my opinion on these and the differences to me. Now, right off the bat, let me say I am not a fan of follow. I know it's a popular among the frag heads, but I don't really care for it. I mean, does it smell like coffee? Does it remind me of coffee? Yes, it does, but it's just too much of one thing, and I don't really get any of the sweetness from the different notes that are in it. As a matter of fact, the only thing that I would even call sweet from it I get is this sort of old coffee treat, if you know what I'm talking about, like one of those old people coffee candies. I get that kind of in it. And in that sense, it kind of reminds me of, I think it's Sebastian's Express Royale from back in the day. If you've ever smelled that fragrance, I don't like that one either. So yeah, to me, it's really just reminds me of opening up a bag of just straight up coffee beans with those old people coffee candy treats that, if you've ever had those. It performs well though, so I mean, if you like it, more power to you. Now, followed on the other hand, I actually do like. However, I gotta say, more than a coffee fragrance, I think you should consider this a chocolate fragrance, or at least I consider it a chocolate fragrance. Not only that, but this is one of the most, not only just chocolate, this is one of the most gourmand, foodie smelling fragrances that I've ever smelled in all my years in fragrances. And this fragrance is actually like warm. Like you could take this fragrance's temperature, it almost feels like, right? Like, some fragrances, if you've ever smelled them, there's maybe a bit of crispness to it. You know what I mean? This fragrance really does feel like it has a temperature to it. Like it feels like it could actually warm you up. That's how hot this fragrance feels when you smell it, like you were cooking something, right? My story of this fragrance would be, imagine you're opening up your own little breakfast or cafe shop, whatever. And the selling point of your cafe is that you have your own special secret chocolate sauce syrup, right? That you put on everything, right? You put it in the coffee, you put it on your pancakes, you put it on your waffles. And to make this sauce, right, you get your big, metal pan, right? And you put it on over the oven, right, over the stovetop, whatever, and you throw in all this chocolate, right, and then you throw in some more chocolate, and then you throw in some more chocolate, and then just so it's not completely pitch black, now inside of this molten lava chocolate mixture that you have, you pour a little bit of vanilla marshmallowy yumminess, some maple syrup, a little bit of caramel. So now while you're mixing that black chocolate molten lava, you're starting to see little like golden brown swirls in it, right? And voila, you have your sort of secret sauce chocolate syrup recipe that everyone is coming to your cafe for. And you'll put some of it, on the coffee, on the pancakes, on the waffles, whatever. And then as you close up for the day and are cleaning everything, right, you got this metal pan that is still warm and it has this kind of burnt molten chocolate on it that you're kind of like trying to like scrub off, right? And that smell from the customers in the day is following you. See what I did there? Boom, boom, right? Anyway, I have to laugh at my own jokes. Please laugh at the joke. Like, sub, silly comment, please. Right? But, so basically you're scrubbing this, metal pan, whatever, trying to get all this molten, crispy chocolate off, right? And you still smell some wafts in the air from the coffee that the customers drank earlier in the day. You still smell some wafts of the maple syrup and waffle and pancakes earlier in the day. You just get little whispers of that, right? But it's mostly that molten warm chocolate, I feel like, right? So again, it's very, 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 very foody, very warm, very chocolatey. Do I smell coffee in it? I do to varying degrees, you know what I mean? And of course you get other whispers and wafts of, maple syrup, vanilla, marshmallowiness, a little bit of caramel, but again, primarily I think of this as really a chocolate scent, okay? Performance is good as well, though, if not actually somewhat deceptive. But again, my COVID knows, I'm still not 100% even a year and a half later, but I will say I only wore this out once just, to test it, right? But compliment wise, for what it's worth, seemingly, it does get compliments. I can say I was on the escalator and I was going up, and these girls were behind me, and I heard them like, oh my, they're like, what is that smell? They're like, what smells so good right now? And I look back at them, and they're like, wow, what is that smell? I was like, oh my God, something smells so good. And I just kind of turned around and I was like, I wonder if they're talking about me. But that story almost kind of shows you it's not a fragrance smell. They were like smelling like, what is that good food smell right now, right? So that's what I mean. It's not like it really, if you don't like gourmand fragrances, I can't imagine you would like this. That's how fucking foody it smells, right? So anyway, for what it's worth overall, yes, I like followed much, much more than follow. Follow is just, I don't get follow, right? You know what I mean? However, again, I think though, if you're looking at this fragrance, personally for me, I would think of it as a chocolate first fragrance, not a coffee fragrance, right? I mean, would I get it? My disposable income and where I am in my fragrance journey is just, I just don't really buy fragrances anymore, right? It's just, I don't have the money. It's just, that part of my life is over. I wouldn't mind having it, but even saying that, I feel like a decant of this would probably last me for who knows how long, because the versatility of the fragrance is, I guess there's an asterisk mark, right? It's not like off-putting, but it really is very foody and strong. So, you're getting a lot for what you're buying, right? So, anyway, personally, I would say though, if you are looking for a chocolate fragrance, try it. If you're looking for a holy grail coffee fragrance like me, although I've seen some people reviews say they do think it is, personally, in my opinion, more of a chocolate thing, right? And overall, I'm still looking for my perfect coffee fragrance, right? I want that fragrance that reminds me of having, a coffee or a mocha with the smell of Dunkin' Donuts. That I want to walk in smelling like a Dunkin' Donuts. That's what I want. Again, I'm not saying it doesn't smell like coffee, but it just doesn't trigger that emotion that makes me think that this is the ultimate, coffee fragrance that I'm looking for. But I think it's worth checking out, though, if you're into this kind of stuff. Hopefully the microphone didn't cut out too much. Again, I need a new microphone too, so if anyone ever wants to support the channel, you can do that. But anyway, hopefully this worked at the end.